one of the top experts in the world on sales.
King of collaboration.
He's on the cutting edge, and what he does works.
Jim Padilla.
CEO of Gain the Edge.
He is the leader when it comes to sales and conversions.
A sales and business coach to some of the biggest names in the country.
Jim Padilla is known as the go-to guy for all things sales.
What is up? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. And welcome to the Make More Sales environment here. And those listening in on the podcast, please make sure you rate and subscribe and review. And those watching here in the Facebook group, make sure you give us a like or a love. Make sure we know that we're here and following. Make your presence felt so that we know that we are serving you and that we have something to offer you. And at any point in time when you're following along here, we want to hear your feedback and your comments. We want to hear what you like. We want to hear what you don't like. We want to hear what your challenges and concerns are, especially if you're being challenged or disagreeing with anything that we're saying. It's cool when you love it, but it's also, I think more impact is made when you challenge it, if it's something that is challenging you. All right. So we're here to serve you. We're here to serve you. And today, the conversation here on the Jim and Cyndi show, and it's going to be primarily Jim on the video, and you'll have Cyndi in the comments, so you can engage with her there, ask questions, prompt anything coming up. Let us know what's happening. The conversation today, as we are diving deeper into this all the time, is making more sales without getting better at selling. Right? No surprise with that. But the focused topic is the inner game, the mindset, the inner game of sales, right? Everything that we do in life, has an inner game component, right? If you're going to start a diet, if you're going to engage somebody in a conversation, if you're going to propose marriage to someone, if you're going to ask your neighbor to stop parking in front of your driveway. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there, right? These are scenarios that come up in life. Every single piece of that, there is an inner game component. There is a belief, there's a mindset component that says, okay, I got to muster up the courage to ask this question, or I got to stop being so angry about this, or I hope she says yes, or whatever it is. No matter what we do, there is an inner game component. There is something that's driving us behind it, right? Once we get to the why are we doing this in the first place? And why should it matter? And then it's what am I thinking about this? And what am I believing about what I'm thinking? And how is that going to drive the action set? And my perspective and mental approach to what I'm talking about or thinking about or ready to do is going to impact how I do it, or whether I do it with any sincerity, any passion, any conviction, or if I just go, whatever, no big deal. Right. So we're going to touch base on some of that today. It's a never ending conversation. It's not like once you've learned it, it's done. So it's not like that. We're not going to teach you how to solve the limiting beliefs around sales. What we're going to do is open a conversation that should be ongoing forever. As long as you are taking breath on this planet, you're always going to be navigating the mindset to whatever type of conversation or engagement or movement you are making, right? So the fact that it's on the plate in front of you, now you got to figure out, you got to decide what you're going to do with it, right? So what we're going to talk about, though, is some key areas that could be sabotaging your sales efforts. And I say could be because I don't want to be directly offensive, but quite honestly, I don't care. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to help you grow. I'm here to help you see things in a different way so that you can start having the kind of success you are desiring in the sales game, right? That's what we want more than anything for you. We want you to be able to show up and say, yes, hell yes, I'm in and I can win this, right? I want you to be focused on winning the game of sales. All right. So again, welcome to the Gain the Edge world, our Make More Sales environment. This is the Make More Sales podcast. We're here to share some of our insight and secrets. And, I hate using those terms, secrets, keys, pillars. You fill in the blank. I don't know what the right word is because they've all been beat to death, right? They've all been beat to death. The old saying of marketers ruin everything is always true, right? So here's the deal. We're just going to share. You call them keys, you call them pillars, you call them beliefs. In our Make More Sales world, I call them moves, moves to make more sales, right? So it's, alliteration and catchy, but bottom line is these are things you need to know. So pay attention because we want to change the game for you, right? If you are having all the success that you want in sales, meaning you are showing up and you're saying, yes, I got this. I know how to sell all the time. Just say, yeah, I got it, right? If you're not, if you're saying, hey, I need to learn more, I need to fine tune better, right? If that's you, say, I do, right? Say, I do, verbally. Type it in the chat. Say, I do. I need to know. I need to be better at this. I need to be continually up leveling and mastering the game. If that's you, say, I do. Say, it's me, right? Say, I'm here. Okay, but make sure you respond. I want to encourage you to respond. This is not me talking at you. This is me having a dialogue with you. And the other thing that I want to do is, it's tough when I'm live on here, but I'm trying to be able to engage the questions as they come up. A couple of the challenges is I'm engaged right here, so I'm not reading stuff. The other part is I'm coming into this live via my Zoom. And so if you have a specific question, you're about anywhere from, depending on the feed and the day, anywhere from 7 to 30 seconds behind me. So it's I will come back through. I will look at them. We will get questions and we will get some answered. And whatever we don't answer right here live, we will answer after the fact. So please post anything that comes to your mind. And as I'm talking to you, respond as if it's just you and me. If I say, hey, what do you think about that? Say, yeah, that's a good idea. Or I say, if that's you, say yes. I want you to say yes. Just pretend, because if you and I were just right here talking at a table, you would be engaging that way. So I don't want you just pretend, like, I don't want this to be background music. I want this to be a conversation. So you will get 10 times more, right? You typically will get 3 to 7% engagement and retention when you listen to something. You will typically get closer to 60% retention when you engage something, meaning you dialogue it, you write it down, you comment, right? And when it's verbal, it's even more so. So get into the process. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. If they think you're crazy, fantastic. It's all good. All right. So here's the deal. I'm actually going to run through this email a little bit because we sent an email. If you're on our list, you got it in your inbox. But it really speaks to this point well. When it comes to sales, most entrepreneurs have the wrong focus, right? Everybody's very, very focused on learning what and how of sales, right? But the thing that gives you supercharged revenue, right, and a full calendar and losing the frustration, okay, is the mindset. It's the inner game. The inner game is what's going to move the needle, right? You could say all the right things, which is why I'm always talking about scripts. Nothing wrong with them. They're just not necessary. And they are not the greatest tool to get you where you need to be. All right. So it's not so much the lack of sales knowledge, it's the lack of confidence and belief in how you show up to the people that you serve. That's what's costing you more than anything, right? There's one thing that people say a lot, right? I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a natural born salesperson. Or like I know people say this to me and I know they mean it as a compliment. I take it as not one, but people say, oh, you're a natural, you're a natural born salesperson. The old, you could sell shoes to a man with no feet. You could sell ice to an Eskimo and all that. And I get what they're saying, but you know what? That's also kind of an insult because why on earth would I sell shoes to a man with no feet? Or who would sell ice to an Eskimo, right? That would mean somebody's trying to put something in somebody's world that they don't need. And that's not what I'm about at all. I'm here to help you grow and help you to get to handle the things you do need and take care of business in ways that will actually make permanent change for you. Okay. So there's no such thing as a real salesperson. And this is a two-edged coin. There is no such thing as a natural born salesperson, right? Michael Jordan, in my opinion, is the best basketball player ever, right? And one of the best competitors that sports in the world of sports has ever seen. Yes, he had some incredible physical gifts that he was born with. There's nothing I could do in my body that could get me the physical gifts that he has. However, I personally know people who have the same physical gifts he has, and all they do is play basketball on the street corner because they didn't hone their skill set. They didn't have the mental toughness and fortitude and the desire and the drive to win, and not only win, but to destroy the competition and to be the best and to dominate every environment. And again, I've been saying this a lot lately, and I'm going to say it a lot more. Whatever you're committed to, just look at your calendar and look at your checkbook. And that will tell you if you're actually committed. Are you actually invested in the things you say you're invested in? Because that is where the proof is, right? So somebody who is desiring to be the best, desiring a 10x growth, desiring to change the world through your business, through your service, through your, is not somebody who just puts their business into a box and says, this is where I serve and this is how I serve. And the rest of the time I'm doing this and serving my own needs and balance in my life and all that stuff. That's wonderful. I'm not poo-pooing anything. Hey, your life is your life. I want you to make sure that your words match your actions. And those actions are going to be driven from the thoughts in your mind, from the belief set, the mindset that you're driving from, right? We are on mission to change the game. We are drawing a dividing line into sales games. Like, you don't need SIPs. You can make sales without getting better at selling. Amen. Ain't nobody teaching that. Right. And we're getting a lot of pushback, which is awesome. I don't care, but we are to change the game. There are enough people out there. There are millions of people who are saying, thank God, hallelujah, I don't have to be a sales master in order to make sales. Right. And we're challenging people who are, well respected, credible, and all that. And it's awesome because we're not disrespecting anything. We're just claiming our ground. Right. And in that belief set, there, I'm constantly, I'm talking about it. I'm challenging it. We have invested mightily and heavily into all the systems that support all the things that we're talking about. Right. We're consistently moving in that direction. What we are invested, we don't have much of a social life. And that's not, and again, there's nobody saying, oh, we're sacrificing all of this. We're making a choice. We have a commitment that we have made to the success of the people that we serve. We are here on a public mission to help make salespeople the greatest asset in your company. And if you are the solopreneur, then guess what? I'm here to make sure that you see your sales process, your desire, your responsibility to master the sales process as the greatest asset you have in your company, because without it, you don't have a company. Okay. And if you look at our calendars and you look at our bank balance, you will see that's where we invest most of our time. That's where we invest most of our resources. That's where we spend all of our time challenging, coming up with new ways to say it, new ways to enforce it, new ways to share it with you, new ways to deliver outcomes that will help you support that, such as these Monday calls, these Jim and Cyndi live shows. Speaking of which, give us a comment if the Monday mornings work for you. We're also trying to find a spot where it's more beneficial. So if you think this call could be used, you would be easier to attend it at a different time, please let us know that, because we want to make sure this shows up in a place where you can get benefit from it. So make sure you place your vote. So we don't want you thinking that other people know things that you don't. Right. It's so easy to say that. Like, there's a lot of people say to me, well, you've been doing this your whole life. You just know things. It's easy for you to do it because, right? I don't want anybody thinking that about you. It's not easy for you to do it because it's easy for you to do it because you're committed. It's easy for you to do it because you know what's at stake for your clients. It's easy for you to do it because you can't wait to change these people's lives at scale. It's easy for you to do it because you don't give a rip what other people think about you. You're only concerned with their success, their growth, their movement forward, right? Their uplifting, their up-leveling, and the outcomes that they can have, right? When that's the case, you won't care what other people think about you, because you will be far more concerned about the people around you and what they need and what they're looking for and how do you help them get it, right? You want to be thinking to yourself, what do they need? Why do they need it? And why do they need it from you? And if you can answer those clearly, then you're going to be visible, vocal, all over, and you're not going to care. You don't need to sound polished. You don't need to sound perfect. You need to sound convicted, committed, convinced, sold, clear, and powerful. You got this. All right. So just remember, you've been selling your whole life. All right. And again, there's no real secrets here, right? Nobody knows what you don't. Nobody knows the magic formula. You do, right? Here's the other side of the coin of what I mentioned before. I'm kind of bouncing around here, but just work with me. I'm just kind of, I'm doing the ADD approach, as Michael Burnoff says, right? I'm going where I'm feeling led. And with the fact that there's no born salesperson. Now, that's true. Just like, Michael Jordan's born athletic, born with genes and DNA that were going to serve him very well over time. But he had to hone them, right? He wasn't born Michael Jordan that we know. He was born Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the kid who couldn't make his varsity high school team. Okay. And the beauty is with the sales game, You're not eliminated because you're not 6'8" or 6'6" with fast twitch muscles and can fly through the air. You're not eliminated because you can't hit a 3 in a corner with somebody flying at you and your hand in your face, right? Because you've been selling every day of your life and you've been doing it well. You've been enrolling people into things they should do with you, things they want to do with you. You've been enrolling people to want to be with you. You're enrolling people to want to be around you. You've been enrolling people to do things, not do things, show up, not show up. You've been enrolling people to follow you, right? At the end of the day, sales in my book is all about leadership. Sales is synonymous with leadership, and leadership is defined as being the person that people will follow willingly to make a decision in their own best interest. You need to be on a journey to become the person that people will follow willingly to make a decision in their own best interest. That's all about you becoming. The more you become, the more focused you are on this becoming, the more committed you are to this becoming, the more people follow. It is just that simple and that clear, right? We don't go out in search of followers. We go out in search of serving, in search of being what people need. We're always just looking for where are the gaps? What is the problem that people need solved? And as COVID hit and as our economy gets crazy and the stuff in the air around, the politics gets more intense and severe, all we're doing is going, okay, what are the problems that are presenting? And how do we fill that gap? How do we solve that problem with our voice, with a solution, with a resource, with a way to gather people and pour a bunch of content into a lot of people, with a way to reach out. I have talked to more people one-on-one, people that may or may not ever become clients, simply because I know I can help them, right? And when there's time in my calendar, I do that as much as I can, right? And if not, I do these, and I'm on interviews. I've got hundreds of interviews lined up. I did over 100 interviews last year. I'm doing everything I can to where can I put my expertise out into the world that will make a difference for the people who need it, right? You can do that same thing, right? But here's the key. You have to understand what it is that what it is, the problem that you can solve. What's the gap that's out there that needs to be solved? And when you can speak to that very confidently and eloquently, specifically, then you start having this approach and this mindset that sales should be as simple as a park bench approach to a conversation, right? It should be that simple. You should be able to speak to somebody and immediately know what they want. Why do they want it? And then here's a big one. If they want it, what's keeping them from getting it? Why don't they have it already? Do they really want it? Are they invested in this, or are they only interested? And many times you're going to be the one. You're going to be the one person to show up that's going to be the catalyst to moving them from interested to invested. Hey, that's what I do every day. I am focused on, I want you to stop playing around. I want you to stop thinking it's okay to just have mediocre outcome and results. I want you to be completely open. I want to encourage you and challenge you to see the 10x possibility. See the lane that nobody else is in, or one that you can dominate in clearly and powerfully by just showing up and sharing from your expertise, from your heart, from the things people need to hear. Whether they want or need to hear them is irrelevant. Whether they're going to like you as a result of hearing them is irrelevant. Right? The whole know, like, and trust factor. I talk about this a lot. It's a big one for me. I poo-poo that all the time, right? Somebody somewhere, the first person who ever said, you need to get people to know, like, and trust you, the know, like, and trust factor, the know, like, and trust factor. It's nonsense. Somebody said it and everybody liked it and thought, hey, let's just repeat that. And it's been on repeat for over 100 years in sales game. You can't go to a sales training without hearing, get the know, like, and trust factor. You don't need people to know you to buy from you. You've all bought from people you don't know, right? You've all bought from people you don't like. Or you don't have to go out of your way to like them. It's not a factor. And quite honestly, like is one of the biggest risk factors in the sales game. The more you're focused on trying to be liked, the less effective you're going to be, because you're going to start doing things you think they want you to do instead of doing things you know you should do, instead of speaking about the things that you know you should. Like when saying, I want you to stop worried about looking good and feeling good and thinking you need to be perfect in front of people. I want you to start sharing what you know immediately. I want you to start sharing what you think people should be doing about it. You want to know, here's a challenge for you. Write this down right now. Write this down and post it in the thread. What is the one thing that is a massive pet peeve that your prospects do? That you, whenever time you get off the phone, you're like, oh, darn it. I hate when they say they're going to do that because they don't. Or I hate when they say they think they've got it under control because we know that's nonsense. That's why they're here. That's why they're overweight, or that's why they're not making money, or that's why they're losing sales, whatever it might be. What's the pet peeve? Right? For me, one of them, I have several. One of them is the fact that you think you have to master sales in order to be great at sales. You think you have to be a sales expert. You think you have to be great. You think you have to show up as a pro in order to get people to buy from you. And that's just simply not true. It is simply not true. That is not required at all. Right? Again, you've been doing it in your whole life, in your whole world. What's the thing that you have a pet peeve about? When you start sharing that, people will start resonating with it more. Start sharing the thing that bothers you the most about why people don't do what you know they're supposed to, and watch them show up and respond. Watch them make a difference. Watch them take action. Watch them respond to you differently. You'll have all kinds of responses, from people actually commenting and engaging you to people unfriending you, unliking you, or unsubscribing. That's good, because that means you're resonating. The thing you don't want is lukewarm. You don't want people to be indifferent. You don't want people to go, yeah, that's interesting. You want people to go, wow, I have not thought about it like that. Or that guy's out of his mind. She's crazy. I would never work with somebody who thinks that way. Awesome. You have generated action. You have challenged their belief set. You have challenged their mindset by affirming yours. Okay. Right? What are the kind of things that you could be doing and saying differently? Right? Why would somebody refer you business, even though maybe they've never bought from you? Are people referring business to you consistently and strategically to the point where it fills your calendar? To the point where you got to consider turning them away because there are so many, and because they show up wanting to buy from you, not just interested in maybe having a conversation? If that's not your reality, then you need to stick around in our world here, because this is all we talk about. How do you make this work? Right? Or how many is referral-based business? Now, hear me out. Again, this is one of my pet peeves. People saying, I know that, or I do that. Are you getting referrals, and are you asking for referrals? Now, be careful on this, because this is one that people talk about all the time. I get people always say, well, I get all my business from referrals. Yeah, but or is all your business define that? Are you getting one sale a month? One sale a quarter? Are you overflowing? Most importantly, are you meeting your objectives? Are you meeting your financial objectives? Are you earning the revenue you need? Is your company growing? Are you investing in the future of your business and of your company? Are you able to pay your bills? Are you able to put savings away? You're living the life that you want. If you're not, then stop saying it works, because it's not working, because you don't work it, because you're not doing it. Be on point about this. When I say, are you asking for referrals? Do you have a system? Does every person you talk to experience that process? Do you ask for referrals? Do you have a way to ask for them? Are you strategic in how you ask for them? Do people eagerly and willingly give you referrals when you do ask for them? Do you deliver your business and build your relationships in such a way that people want to refer you and go out of their way to do it? Is your calendar full of people who have been put there by somebody else who referred you? If that's not your reality, then please do me a favor from this point forward. Stop saying you get business purely on referrals, because you don't. You mean you get accidental business by somebody else who just happened to send them your way. That's not building a referral business. That's hoping and praying that referrals show up. All right? You want to start structuring your life in such a way that that's a part of the reality. Okay? And don't say that you're doing things if you're not getting the impact and the results and the outcome you want, right? And something we've been sharing with our team recently is I'm reviving this. It's something we used to do back when I had my alarm company. I don't know why we kind of dropped away from it, but we used to have a saying to say, more, better, different. More, better, different. Because guys would come in all the time and either not get the results they wanted, or something went wrong. They said, but I did everything exactly the way you said it. Well, but you didn't get the outcome. So you need to examine all the time before you say, I did that or I know that. You need to say, how could I do it? How could I have done it more? What could I have done more in this process? What could I have done better in this process? Is there something I could have done different in this process? And it doesn't mean try a whole different tactic or strategies. Well, actually, it doesn't mean anything. It just means examine it. It means ask the question. Could I have showed up more in this? Could I have been a more effective leader? Could I have been more clear? Could I have been more specific? Could I have been more direct? Could I have been more empathetic? Could more? Could I have been more prepared for the conversation? Right? Could I have done a better job of really understanding their pain? Could I have shown up better as the absolute expert in the solution that they have? Remember, when I know what do they need? Why do they need it? And why do they need it from you? Could I have shown up in a way that said, could I have shown up more better and powerful in a perspective that says, I'm your solution? What do you mean you're not going to buy this? Show me how this is going to, show me what you're going to do that's going to give you a better solution for this. That's going to help you get your problem solved faster, more effectively, and help you win at this, right? If you're not fighting for what you're doing, why the hell should somebody buy from you? I wouldn't. I want you to sell me. I want your conviction to show up. I want your confidence. I want your certainty. I need it because I'm deficient in the area where you're an expert. And I need you to show up in a way that says, I got you and I've got this. And don't you dare walk away from this without solving this problem. Moving in track, because we're going to go change the environment for you. We're going to change your life, your family, your trajectory, right? The direction of your family tree. We are going to solve this because I do this in a way nobody else does. I solve those problems. I eat them for lunch. I take care of business. It's game on. When do you show up like that for your clients? Or are you too busy having a sales presentation? All right. Are you feeling me? If you do, say I am. Say I am. Say yes, I'm in this thing. Come on. I'm feeling this. I hope you are too. And I know I'm resonating. I want to hear the outcomes. All right. So let's make this thing go. Right. They don't have to like you to be able to order and buy. They don't need to trust you. They need to trust themselves. They need to know themselves. They need to know that they are in the right place. They need to like what they can do. They need to like what's possible for them as a result of being in your world. Right? And they need to trust that they can get the outcomes by taking action. They need to trust their own decisions and their abilities to move forward. They don't need to know and like and trust you. Right? This is not just semantics. This is reality. Do not focus on trying to get people to like you. Right? We are here to help you with all of this. We want to make sure that you have opportunity. Don't fool yourself. I hire salespeople for a living. We've been growing sales. I've hired thousands of salespeople in my career. And we hire dozens of them every month. Right? And I can tell you that 90% of the salespeople I talk to are not salespeople. Just because you call yourself a salesperson doesn't make you a salesperson any more than standing in your garage doesn't make you a car. Okay. You need to understand what is it going to take, right? It's again, double-sided coin, right? I don't want you to be a sales pro. I want you to be focused on winning customers and influencing people to take action in their own best interest, showing up as the person they will follow willingly to take action in their own best interest. Okay. If you're interested in finding out more about how we can help you do this, please just comment, raise your hand, say, look, jump on a call. If you're not, here's the simple part of this, guys. If you're not getting the results that you want and need in order to reach your goals, to live your dream, to grow your business, to change your family, do the things you know you want to do, stop fooling yourself and at least raise your hand and say, let me talk to somebody, right? And our team will set up a time to talk to you. We'll jump on, we'll pull you off, we'll get you a quick conversation. What exactly is your challenge? How can we help you? What solutions do we have that can help you get there? If any of this that I'm talking about, one nugget of what I've been talking about with you here is of value to you, say yes, say yes. If you have something there, say yes, say I got one. You know, in our Peak Performance Network, we have options, guys. There's so many ways that we can serve you. You have an event that you're doing that you need strategy and input for. We are here to help you win because we're really good at this. We stay in our lane and we focus. We want to help you grow your business. We want to help you make more sales without getting better at selling because that's a real thing. And if it's not happening for you, then you're the last person who should be running away from this conversation and going, yeah, that was good. You need to reach out and say, how do I learn more? Right? And let us help you. Right. Thanks for trusting us to be part of your success team. We appreciate you. You're halfway through the month. Go make your month happen. You can win all of your objectives in the second half. Don't even trip on what's happened to the front. Everything beyond from yesterday in the past is dry cement. Can't do anything about it. But you are right now still living in wet cement. You get to mold it. You get to shape it. You get to determine what the outcomes are going to be. Go make it happen and let us know. Call your shots right now. What are you going to do for the rest of this month? Right? We'll see you soon.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Make More Sales podcast. If you like what you're hearing, you'll definitely want to check out our Make More Sales Facebook group, where you'll find more amazing content, including free sales training and live content happening every single week. So make sure to follow the link below to join. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show, and share it with your friends. That way, more people can learn how to make more sales without getting better at selling. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.